Thank you, Worship. State Court and Julius Malema, Gerardo Sneyman, case number Regional Court 446 of 20B. The date is the 31st of January 2023. The parties are the same as yesterday, with Advocate Holders appearing on behalf of accused number 1, Advocate Matthews on behalf of accused number 2. Proceedings are mechanically recorded.
Thank you, Advocate Caesar. Advocate Holders, the defense for accused 1 are ready to proceed. Advocate Matthews?
We are ready.
Thank you. Anyone going to ask me if I'm ready? I just want to record. I'll stop now. Just for the record, may I establish whether any interpretation will be needed by either the state or the defense pertaining to the ruling?
Not for
You confirm, Mr. Malema? The state?
Not for anybody, no, ma'am.
Thank you. The court will then proceed with its ruling. The interlocutory ruling by court is based on the state's application to present video footage, basing the application that the evidence amounts to real evidence, and therefore the only onus on the state being that of relevance. That is a brief summary. The defense, being Advocate Hodes as well as Advocate Matthews, were at idem in their views, whereby opposing the application by the state based on the fact that the video footage amounts to documentary evidence and therefore all the requirements pertaining to the admissibility applicable to documentary evidence should be applied, and further that the court should order that the proceedings should take place in the form of a trial within a trial to decide the matter. The state had objected to the request to continue with the trial within a trial, as it is not procedure to do so when dealing with real evidence. I'm of the view that I'm not going to repeat the argument by the state as it was placed on record yesterday, including that of Advocate Hodes and Advocate Matthews. It is on record and recorded. It's also still fresh in our memories, being only yesterday. Therefore, I will deal with the application. The court indeed read and researched all the material applicable to the application before court. The list is endless, and therefore I will refer to the most relevant case law and authors and quote where needed. Firstly, I refer to Harvey versus Nyland and others, 2016 2 SA 436, an ECG decision delivered by Plaskett J. Albeit it deals with a civil matter, the guidelines in the cited case was of great assistance to this court in coming to a conclusion in the matter or the application before court. I also refer to State versus Baleka and others, 1986, 4 SA, page 1005. The Transvaal decision deals with the admissibility of audio recordings. It was found that with regards to audio recordings, the documentary test evidence rule should not be extended to recordings, as the latter is indeed not documentary evidence but indeed real evidence. I further quote from the judge or the learned judge, in my view, apart from identification, which may be a way of proving relevance, The rest of the rules should not be prerequisites for admissibility. It follows from what I have said above that I deal with tape recordings as I would deal with any other type of real evidence tendered where its admissibility is disputed. The test is whether it's relevant and if it has probative value. Continues to say, and I quote, where the identity of a speaker is an issue, as an example, the proof of relevance need only be prima facie proof. Consequently, I quote directly, no trial within a trial should be held on the question of admissibility, as the defense will, apart from contesting this evidence by cross-examination, not be entitled to lead any evidence on this issue at this stage. The defense can canvass the matter fully when it presents its case. The above approach does not mean that sight is lost of the dangers inherent in tape recordings. All these dangers have to be duly weighed when the question is considered at the end of the case whether the state has then proved that the recordings are reliable. That decision will be reached on all the evidence available, which will include that of the accused, should they elect to testify. Various articles express the view that according to the traditional views, graphics, audio, video recordings are regarded as real evidence. Real evidence therefore differs from documentary evidence in that it is never excluded, it only has to be relevant. Once it is received, its authenticity, accuracy, and interpretation may be disputed. I also quote from Zephyret Paged and St. STQ Skyn, page 706. They further state correctly that real evidence is seldom of much assistance unless it is supplemented by the testimony of a witness to connect it to the issue. The weight the court will attach to such evidence will be dealt with when giving judgment and evaluation of the totality of the evidence is done. I also refer to State v. Fury, 1994, 2 SACR 829, Appellate Division. It laid down the guidelines and rules applicable clearly insofar as the admissibility of real evidence is concerned. Further endorsed in State v. Ndlongwa, 2010, 2 SACR 419 and SCA decision, found that video cameras capturing events, for an example in that matter via security video cameras and from which footage was downloaded, the video footage unquestionably original and it constitutes real evidence. In the same judgment, the learned judge refers to the judgment handed down in State v. Mpumlo and others, 1986 3 SA 485, where it was stated that a video film like a tape recording is indeed real evidence, as distinct from documentary evidence, provided that it is relevant. It continued to say on page 485 and 490, H to I, that those recordings are not documents as defined under the common law by the courts, but real evidence. It further held that a video is not a document and it is not a photograph. This statement was reiterated in the Baleka judgment, which citation I have already placed on record. The Appellate Division indicated obiter dictum in Nivote 1990 4 SA 217 Appellate Division at 231D that it favors the approach in the Baleka case and subsequent cases, as already mentioned in the Fury case citation on record, followed the position taken by the Baleka case as well. It is abundantly clear from the specific remarks made by the Appellate Division in the context of the judgment that it is considered that this kind of testimony to be seen as real evidence. In this regard, see page 834, D to E. In conclusion, this court has not only considered the common law, case law and statutory rules, including the law of evidence, has been considered. The court has further considered section 13 to 15.3, section 17 of the Electronic Communications and Transactions Act 25 of 2022, as well as section 3, specifically subsection 4 of the Law of Evidence Amendment Act 45 of 1988. Having said all the above and having regard for the relevant case law, especially the judgment delivered by the Eastern Cape Division, which the court has already placed on record and to which this court is bound by, and keeping in mind that reasons etc. will be dealt with at the appropriate time, the court rules as follows. The evidence is admissible as real evidence and that no trial within a trial should be embarked on with regards to the question of admissibility, and as it is clearly not the correct procedure to follow, and therefore the court orders the main trial to continue.
As the court pleases.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bishop. The state then called the witness Sibosiso Ngobo. This witness number A60 in the case docket, A60.
Advocate Caesar?
Yes, sir.
Just one aspect that I need to canvass with yourself, defense, and all, even the accused gallery and court staff. I know load shedding has taken up the entire morning until 12:30, but they have still been busy with their functions, although the power was off. It is 1 o'clock. Therefore, I have to consult all parties whether they have any responsibilities or appointments for the lunch break and whether they are able to proceed. And therefore, I'm going to ask the input of everyone, as it must be unanimous.
I have consulted the rest of the court staff yesterday insofar as that is concerned, and I requested them to utilize the load shedding time.
No, Advocate Caesar, you can't request and tell them to utilize. No.
It was a friendly request.
I understand.
And I also gave them some incentive as well this morning, Your Worship. We will be able to proceed.
I will still verify with all role players.
Thank you.
Thank you. Warrant Officers Pochter, Sergeant Pinar, the view of sex. Did someone take a photo now? No. Okay. The view from SAPS, are you willing to work through the lunch hour? Do you need a few minutes?
I didn't ask them. I'm so sorry, Your Worship.
Not a problem. It's just procedure. I must acknowledge everyone. Thank you. Ms. Magina. Ms. Thomas? Okay. Advocate Otis, your position and your client's position?
We proceed through the lunch hour instructions to try and make it move as quickly as possible. So if we could proceed, we would appreciate it.
Advocate Matthews? Okay. The person not present in court now is the interpreter.
We can continue that interpreters on.
So there is a shortage of interpreters. I have requested or informed Ms. Thomas that we will call her, but for these proceedings it's not necessary as all the accused is they try to have proceeded in English.
Okay. My last issue is how do you feel about the extreme heat in this court and a possible change of venues?
From us, I'd be ready to proceed here. We should get a fan under the table or something like that.
Okay. Then, by all means, let us proceed.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you.
Mr. Noble. Your Worship, just in respect of this particular witness, only audio, no video footage.
Then, the media, you have heard the request from the state that the witness, only audio evidence will be allowed, but not footage of the witness. Understood from everyone? The witness, may you please state your full names and surname for the record, please?
Sibusiso Professor Ngobo.
I'm sorry, it's making a bit of a noise. Can you just raise your voice, please?
Oh, my name is Sibusiso Professor Ngobo.
Do you have any objection in taking the prescribed oath?
No.
Do you then swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I swear.
You'll have to raise your hand and say, so help.
So help me God.
Thank you, Mr. Ngobo. Since you will be testifying in English, is that correct?
Correct.
You are comfortable?
Yes, I'm comfortable.
All right. I just want to also request you, after a sentence or so, just briefly pause. We are also writing down what you are saying whilst the state is leading your evidence. All right. Thank you. Advocate Caesar.
Thank you, Worship. Mr. Ngobo, how old are you?
I'm 32.
On the 28th of July 2018, you were employed at Gearhouse Company, a company that's situated in Durban. Is that correct?
Yes, correct.
Just sorry, Advocate Caesar, can you repeat the name of the company?
Gearhouse. Gearhouse. Like a
Gear.
Gear. Yeah, Gear for motor
Yes.
vehicle and
Thank
house.
you.
In what capacity were you employed at Gearhouse?
I was an audio-visual AV technician. AV stands for audio-visual technician.
What type of company is Gearhouse Company?
Gearhouse deals with live event. So we provide like stage, sound, and audio-visual. It's like a technical support for events.
Do you have any specific qualifications?
Yes, I'm a qualified AV technician.
What is your experience in this regard? For how long have you been doing that?
I've been in the industry for 7 years. I've been an AV technician for 4 years now.
On the 28th of July 2018, you were contracted to come and work here in East London and record video footage. Is that correct?
I was employed to come and do everything pertaining AV, meaning from setuping of the equipment, operating, including recording of the content that was taken that day.
Just a minute. Setting up of the equipment, including?
Operating the equipment and recording.
Can you tell us what equipment are you referring to if you say you were operating the equipment? What is the equipment? What are you referring to?
During this event, we had 2 cameras. One camera was on stage right, which means when you are at the stage facing the crowd, is on your left. It's stage right according to us. And then another camera was at the front of house. Front of house, it's the tower that is built opposite the stage, like 35 meters away from the stage. It's called front of house. That's where all the engineers who are operating the show are sitting, so that they can be able to have a clear picture of what's happening on the stage. So one of the camera was there at the front of house. And then I also set up, there's a vision mixer, which is used to mix camera. It's called HS400 that I was using on that day.
Mr. Ngobo will be heavily relying on you with this technical evidence regarding cameras. You said you were also the visual mixer. What does that mean?
Yeah, vision mixer, it's when I take the feed from the cameras, it's used to mix cameras. So those 2 cameras are installed in my vision mixer, and I'm able to see them in my monitor screen, and I'm able to switch in between using the vision mixer. That's what the vision mixer is for, is to mix cameras. And then I had an ATEM studio that was used to record that feed from the vision mixer. Which means whatever that I'm mixing on the vision mixer will go to the ATEM studio that I'm using to record, and it being recorded using that ATEM studio. And I was also responsible to give the feed to the big screens that were on the venue, so that the crowd be able to see that content.
What time did you set this up at the Sisadukasha Stadium?
We started the setup 8 o'clock in the morning.
Let's proceed.
And then my task was to make sure that I get the correct feed from the cameras. I will communicate with my camera operator using comms. Like, for example, I will tell them that camera 1, you stand by, I'm coming to you, and then I go live to camera 1, and then just like that, so that there is a great working relationship between me and the camera operators.
Were you personally involved with setting up the cameras, as you explained?
Yes, I set up all the equipment that was there on site with the help of the other technicians who were cameras.
Can you just tell us why would you tell camera 1, I'm coming to you, camera 2, as you just explained, what is the purpose of that?
Because sometimes it happened that a camera can move while I'm putting him live on screen. So I'm making him ready to lock on that shot so that he won't be able to move once he's live. He will understand that he is live.
Are you able to observe everything that is going on or that is being recorded by the camera?
I can only observe what is on the screen most of the time. I don't have a vision of the stage because the stage is like 35 meters away from me. So my focus is on the monitor that is in front of me where there are cameras.
You were there the whole day recording this event, is that correct?
Yes, on the day of the event.
Yes.
Yes, I was there.
At 8 o'clock that evening, were you still there?
Can you repeat
8
that?
o'clock the evening, were you there?
When? During the setup or during the show?
During the show?
Yes, during the show I was still there.
Yes, what happened then? What happened on that day? On the 28th of July?
The event started at 9, so there were speeches. Then around 3 o'clock, I cannot be precise with time. Then there were performances until maybe 11 or 10 in the afternoon.
Did you see accused number 1 there on the day in question? Accused number 1 is Mr. Malema, was he there?
Yeah, he was there. He was the main guest speaker.
Everything that happened there, was it recorded?
Yes, it was recorded.
Accused number 2, do you know him?
No, I don't know him.
Have you seen him on the day in question of 28 July 2018
Yes,
during the event?
Yes, I saw him.
Where exactly did you see him?
I cannot be precise because as we are busy working, we'll meet various people, so I cannot say where I saw him.
The particular evening, what happened in the evening?
It was, as I said, it was like performances, and a lot of dance. People were dancing around. Yeah, that's all I can recall for that day, afternoon.
Did you see or observe on your monitor any shooting incident occurred on that particular evening of the 28th of July 2018?
On the 28th, no, I didn't realize any kind of shooting that happened.
Did you observe or hear any display of fireworks on the evening in question?
What's happened is when you mix, we have combs like covering both of your ears, and there is sound that is like banging from the front too. So it was really, I'm focusing on the camera and communicating with them.
What time did the event end on the 28th of July 2018?
I'm really not sure.
If you have to estimate,
Maybe around 10 or 11.
Is that now in the evening?
In the evening, because I was also tasked to go to do the after party. So for me, the work was continuous.
What happens once you've recorded now, whatever you need to record it, what happens to that particular footage?
So the process is, once I finish with the recording, I will double check if the recording is there in my laptop and the hard drive which I was recording on. And then I will browse through the recording to check if there is audio and there are no glitches. And then I will submit the hard drive with the content of the recording to the project manager of that event from Gear House.
So you submit the hard drive to the project manager?
Yeah, I will give the content to the project manager from Gear House who's on site.
did you do so on this particular evening of 28 July 2018?
Yes, I did exactly as the procedure.
How did you become involved as a witness in this case?
Couple of days later, officials from, I'm not sure, NPA or Hawks, they came to at Giao's Durban office. And I was also asked to go and join them because they requested a meeting with those who were working in this particular event we are talking about. And that was the beginning of me being part of the witness of this case.
What was the purpose of those members of the Walks visiting you? Did they explain?
They wanted to make sure that I was the person who was doing the recording, number one. And they asked questions about the video, if it's original or what was the process in taking it. That was the meeting about.
Were you requested by the Walks to go and fetch that particular footage?
No.
Who is the manager you gave the hard drive to?
I gave the, it was, the project manager was, I forgot his name, but he was from Giao's Johannesburg. Goes by the name of Lifa. I don't know the name or the surname, but it was Lifa. He was from Giao's Johannesburg. Lifa, yes. Goes by the name of Lifa.
While the footage was in your possession, has there been any tampering with that particular footage?
No.
Mr. Bobo, I'm going to show you a particular video. You can just have a minute. Can you are you able to see the television from where you are?
No.
Oh, I didn't even see. Don't think this is going to work because if we turn it more,
Yes, sir.
I won't be able to see.
You can.
Okay.
Bishop, if the witness can just move a little bit out of the witness box, I will ask him to go back if he need to answer.
All right. Then please, before you comment, you'll have to move back to the microphone. No.
Not now.
You may stay present and the state will indicate when you need to go back to your position to answer on record. And just remember the visuals, please. Okay, thank you. All right.
Chio makerena na timoto yeno ma auye ma awaye na timoto lilo ma hubo pasopa utima na timoto yeno ma auye ma awaye yo ni votu lilo ma pasopa kutima mama tutu zelama ayama hawaiians no ni vote tumliloma bubo pasopa kutima chio mama chio makerena.
There's also a second video that I'm also going to show you. Thank you. Do you recognize that video, those videos?
Yes, those were two cameras from that I was mixing that day.
It was from two cameras?
Yeah, those were two camera angles that I was mixing that day.
Is this the first time you've observed those two videos, or did you have seen it before?
The first one, I've seen it before.
Yes.
Through the hawks that came. But the second one is my first time.
Can you explain to us under what circumstances did you see that first video when the walks arrived there? What happened?
According to them, they were using our video or the recording as evidence. And they were asking me if I did observe whatever that happened in the first video. That's how I came to know about that first video.
Do you confirm that is indeed the footage as provided by Gearhouse to the Walks?
Can you repeat the question?
That footage, is that the same footage that was provided to the Walks, the one that was recorded by your company, Gearhouse?
Yes, it was part of the recording.
Ah. Were you at any stage informed either by the police or your colleagues regarding a shooting that occurred and that the police might come and visit you?
No, I only knew when I was calling the meeting.
Thank you, Asha. Mr. Ngobo, I'm going to request you again to get out of the witness box to observe a third footage.
Sorry?
I want you to observe a third footage. That particular footage, was it recorded by your company?
No, we didn't have a camera coming from behind.
Did you listen to the question?
Yeah, I said no. It was not recorded from we didn't have a camera coming from behind.
What is the difference between the three different footages I've just shown you?
I won't comment on the last one because I don't even know where it's coming from. But on the two, the first two, 1 and 2, it's from the cameras that I set up from stage right and from the front, so I know them personally.
The stage and the scene, is that exactly how it was as is depicted on your two recordings?
Can you repeat
The
that?
stage setup, is it correct the way it's been depicted in your video footage?
Yes, correct.
Just need to speak louder.
Yes, yes, correct, correct.
Thank you, Bishop. I've got no further questions at this stage for this particular witness.
Thank you. Will you be proceeding with cross-examination now? I just want to explain the purpose to the witness. It just facilitates proceedings and aids in the witness. The next step of proceedings is called cross-examination. It means, therefore, Firstly, Advocate Odes, who is appearing for Mr. Malema, and thereafter Advocate Matthews, appearing for Mr. Snyman, will have the opportunity to cross-examine you. It means they may ask questions from you which you may have already testified about in your evidence in chief, but if you are asked again, you are please required to answer the questions clearly again. They may also place a statement before you. It's normally my instructions are, or I put it to you, I'll give you a very simple example. They may say, today is indeed Friday. That is a statement. To a statement, you may respond by saying, yes, you agree to such a statement. You may disagree to the statement. If you do not know or it's not within your knowledge, feel free to say so. If you are not clear and you wish that a question be repeated for you, feel free to ask, and I'm sure the defense will assist you in that regard. Thank you. If you're ready, Advocate Odes, cross-examination.
Thank you. So, can you tell the court who the respective cameramen were on the night in question?
The camera on the stage right was Sanel and Lovu, and the camera at the front of house was Ndumiso.
Ndumiso who?
I don't know his surname.
You said Loiso. Loiso.
Ndumiso, the second camera.
Ndumiso, thank you.
Where are these respective people?
They are no longer at Care House. I don't know where they are now.
So basically you admit to this court that you did not operate those cameras, those respective people, them as Sandele and Ndumiso.
Sanele.
Sanele, I beg your pardon. Sanele and Ndumiso were the two people who operated the cameras, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, similarly, once they had control of the cameras, that was to the exclusion of you. You did not have control of the cameras, do you agree with me?
Can you repeat the question?
They controlled the cameras, not you.
No, yes, I didn't control.
So, no, yes.
No, I didn't control the camera.
And you, from what I understand, your testimony to be did not personally watch what was happening on the stage, is that correct?
Most of the time.
You were somewhere else watching on a monitor, is that correct?
Most of the time.
And you were approached and asked to make a statement, is that correct?
Yes.
And you made it clear in your statement that you are not the cameraman responsible for the filming of these incidents, is that correct?
Correct.
You also, of your own accord, stated that at the night in question you hadn't seen any form of shooting, is that correct?
Correct.
And once you were shown the video footage at a subsequent stage, of your own accord, you said you were not certain whether it was a real or a toy firearm. Do you confirm it?
Yes, correct.
And you went further, sir, and you said that having only watched this on a monitoring screen, you were incapable of deciding or determining whether it was in fact a toy or a real firearm. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, I want to put it to you, sir, that my instructions are that the firearms that you saw there were screen or TV firearms that are incapable of firing projectiles. Do you have any comment?
Can you repeat that?
Yes.
I also.
I'll repeat it, and I'll speak slowly. I want to put it to you that my instructions are that the firearms that you see there were what are referred to as TV or screen or toy firearms that are incapable of ejecting any item. They could not fire a bullet. Do you have any comments?
No comment, I don't know.
Now, if I were to show you these items that are utilized, or similar items, which refer to them in legal terms as facsimiles, copies, or the actual items that are utilized that night, would you be able to identify them from what you saw that night?
I don't know, can't.
Beg your pardon?
Sorry, can you repeat which items are we talking about?
If I brought to court those screen or TV firearms that cannot eject a missile, nothing comes out of them, would you be able to identify them or not?
No, I won't be.
Why?
Because I was not focusing on them. I don't even know how they look like, even the color or anything. Up until today, I don't know.
And you know, they say a video or a photo tells a story of 1,000 words. What you've seen is, even through the antics, nobody ran, was afraid that they might be shot from what you've seen. Do you agree?
No comment?
No, you can't with respect to. You saw the people's reaction. You've watched the video, the courts watched the reaction. I put it to you that nobody ran away from these firearms or expressed any fear whatsoever. Do you have any comment?
If I can explain on that, I was just flighting the image, the content on screen. So I was not even looking at the reaction of the people. Because even when the Hawks came to show me the video, I was not even looking at the reaction of the people. So that's why I say I cannot comment. I have to go back to the video and look at it again. Because my interest was not on that when I was looking at the video.
You've watched it in court, you've watched it before. I put it to you, in other words, I challenge you, so I should explain to you that nobody runs away at the time of the so-called firing of these items. Do you have any comment?
I didn't see anyone running.
It's obvious, we all watched it. But now, what I want to ask you, sir, and going back to the video footage, is there's no Gearhouse logo on the footage. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
And we seem to be watching what appears to be as an extract of the events of that night. Do you agree with that?
Correct.
We don't see the evening beginning as you...
Bishop, I'm struggling to keep up. I'm struggling to keep up to write everything down. It still comes just a little bit slower, please.
2-second delay.
Speak slowly, very slowly. The point that I was making, and I'll make it through you, is as follows. You explained to this court that the events of the day began from 9 a.m. We do not see that on the video footage. Do you agree with me?
Yes, in the video it's not there.
You further explained in your testimony that there were speeches. Accused number one was the main spokesperson. We don't see any of that on the video footage. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, correct.
So it's quite clear, sir, that somebody created some type of a snippet or cut out a section of the video footage. Would you agree with me?
Correct.
To complicate issues further, on the video footage, there is no indication of what the actual time was when these events occurred. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
At best, on this snippet of video, we have the duration of the actual snippet, nothing more. Do you agree?
Correct.
And there's no indication anywhere of who produced this video footage. Do you agree?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, there's no indication anywhere of who produced the video footage. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
Your only means by which you identify it as having been involved is from the angles of the cameras being, as you explained, I'll give you your terminology if you're with me. Stage right in front of house, is that correct?
Correct.
How many cameras were set up for this event by your company, Gearhouse?
Only 2.
You have no idea who filmed the footage that was shown to you as the third video, is that correct?
Correct.
You cannot in any way claim ownership or any role played in the third video simply because, as you said, you did not have a camera from that angle. Do you agree?
Correct.
Put somewhat differently, sir, it's apparent from your testimony that even on the night in question you were unaware that any firing of any type of toy gun or real gun had taken place that night. Do you agree?
Correct.
And that was, so even though you on your own vision monitored the screens of the footage being videoed by the 2 cameras belonging to Gearhouse. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
It's not as if you were watching the filming of something and you saw a terrorist attack or somebody being shot or shot at, that you would react and panic. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
You went there, you controlled the monitors, and at the end of the night you were satisfied that nothing untoward, improper or irregular happened. Do you agree?
Correct.
For all intents and purposes, it was a perfect celebration, a birthday bash, and everything had gone very smoothly. Do you agree?
Correct.
It was only days later when members of the Hawks, you say MPA, came to see you and inquired about the footage, that you came to the realization that either, as you put it, a real or a toy firearm had been depicted in the video footage. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
And that summary that I've put, would apply to both of the videos that you identified as having been filmed by Gearhouse. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
It's not that you had seen the one but not the other. It was in relation to both items of footage that you had not known of anything untoward.
Correct.
And as I put to you earlier, and I know that I'm repeating myself, but it flows from the sequence of the questioning now, nobody appears startled or scared in any of the video footage that was captured by Gearhouse. Do you agree?
Sorry?
As I put to you earlier, and I'm repeating now because of the sequence of where we are now, nobody appears startled or scared in the video footage that was captured by Gearhouse. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, didn't notice any. Correct.
So it would appear, and that's why you drew the conclusion, that there was not a real firearm being shot on the stage with all the people there.
Can you repeat that?
It would appear, and as you yourself had put it in your statement, that a real firearm was not shot on the stage with all those people present. Do you agree with me?
I don't get that.
If somebody was on the stage shooting live rounds, there would be a risk. Do you agree with me?
Yeah, correct.
From what you saw and what we see on the video, nobody appears to be startled, you've told us. Do you agree?
Correct.
So the indication is that a toy firearm, not a real firearm, was used. Do you agree?
Bishop, really, Mr. Advocate, this is just following the question after question. We cannot keep up. I see most of the people stop writing. Please, can you just slow down?
I don't have any
It's too fast.
Reasonable question.
Advocate Caesar, if it's too fast, just draw my attention and we'll indicate without having to stop proceedings and to save time. Just indicate and then I'll indicate to Advocate Ouders as you are not in his view.
Thank you.
I will draw a conclusion for you and let you comment. It is therefore apparent from the reaction, from what we see on the video, that it is most probable that a toy firearm was used in both instances. Do you agree with this?
I think in this question, this is I cannot answer well, just because, as I've explained before, I've never watched the video with the interest of seeing the reaction of the people. I was only watching according to what I was asked to watch on the particular time. So if I had to go and look at the video again and see the expression, I would have answered like you are saying.
No problem, let's watch it. Sir. Then you can watch it here with all of us present. Please come out of the box. Tell me if you see people being startled and scared. Let's watch it. The other corners too. Please come out. I'll ask you who's operating the video to.
Would that now be the third video which he has no knowledge
second,
of?
and third.
All three.
Only the first two are necessary. Those are the ones that we
No, it's absolutely
the first two.
I makerela, chio makerela, na timoto yelo ma, auye ma, hawaye, na timoto lilo ma, bugo pasopa, putima, na timoto yelo ma, auye ma, hawaye, yo ni futum lilo ma, bugo pasopa, putima, mama tutu zela ma, ayama, hawaye, no ni futum lilo ma, bugo pasopa, putima, chio mama, chio makerela.
It's the first one for the record and the second one from Gear House.
Thank you.
Can somebody just move the calendar out of the way?
Yes, but someone will be
Mama, yeah, here you are. Here you are. KGB, here you are. KGB, here you are. Party solo, here you are. Party solo,
back to the microphone, please. So, we've now had the opportunity to watch the two gear house videos, and in particular, the second one focused on the people on the stage. I want to put it to you that it's obvious that nobody was afraid, startled, or running away.
That's correct.
That's now having been given the opportunity in open court to see it and watch the people, even on the stage. You agree with me, is that correct?
Correct.
Bishop, may I approach the accused to take an instruction?
Certainly.
Excuse my lecture. Anyone issue wants to continue?
Certainly.
So, I know I never asked you in advance, but now you've watched the videos a few times. Can you identify accused number one in the respective videos?
On the first, no.
Second?
No.
You need to speak up.
No.
I've got further questions.
Advocate Matthews,
Thank you.
cross-examination.
That's the press, my client.
Certainly.
Sorry, I just...
Sorry, can I have WhatsApp, please? If possible. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Alfred. You okay?
Yeah, thanks.
Did I hear correctly when you said that the second video is the first time you've seen it?
Yes, it's correct.
So it's taken from an angle maybe where one of your cameras were. But there's nothing to say it comes from here.
I was saying it's the first time, meaning when the NPA or the Hawks came the first time, they were taking clips from the video or point of interest. So they showed me that video. The second one, they didn't show me that time. So
you've only seen it today?
Yeah. Correct.
Okay. You say the NPA or the Hawks were taking clips?
Can you repeat the question?
The NPA or the Hawks were taking clips?
Yeah, this is from the clip from the video.
It's obvious to me that on video 1 and 2, if you will agree with me, you can't see accused number 2 at all.
No.
Thank you.
Any re-examination, Advocate Caesar?
Yes, Your Worship. Mr. Just to make sure that you were asked earlier about once you set up the cameras and you went to go monitor it, you lost control. You said yes, but you wanted to answer and you were stopped.
Sorry?
Your answer was earlier you were asked once you set up the videos on that day in question. Do you follow? Then you lost control of the video, or you had no longer had control of your video cameras. Once you set up the cameras, The question was, you've now lost control of the cameras. You're no longer in control of it.
I thought the question was saying I was one operating the camera. I said no, I was not operating the camera. Yeah.
You were also asked to observe the videos, whether there was anybody running and so on. Can you recall that?
Yeah. Correct.
You saw, firstly, in which direction was these shots or fired? Which direction of that stage?
Which shots? The first one or second one?
First one.
Okay. On the first video, the first shot is on the stage right, the angle, and then it switched to the front camera, which is the one at the front of house.
Were there any people standing there where those shots were fired to? Any people?
Standing from?
The right side where the shots were fired, in the direction where the shots were fired. From the video. Do you want to see it again?
You meaning where on the stage? Stage left, opposite the camera. Because the camera is on the stage left.
Okay.
It's taking the shots towards the stage right, where there are people dancing and stuff. So which, I want to understand your question.
If I want to ask, I'm not sure left or right. I'm bad with direction. But in the direction the shots were fired to, or where the person stood to fire shots, were there people standing there?
On the stage or on the field?
On the field.
Yeah, there were people all over the stadium, yeah.
If you talk about people standing, were they standing in front of the stage or on the sides of the stage?
On the front of the stage, yeah.
Thank you, Worship. Nothing else.
Just one aspect that you testified about, and that is, which was shown to court. No objections. The third video. May you just play the third clip, please? May you also have a look, please? If I'm correct by saying the third clip, I think it's the third clip. I'll be rectified. Have you seen the start of the third clip?
Sorry?
Did you see the start of the third clip?
Yep.
Any person look familiar on the third clip?
Yes, I can see.
You can see what, sir?
I can see Mr. Malema.
And anyone else?
Some other people I don't know.
Sorry?
Some of the people I don't know.
I understand some of the people you don't know. Is there anyone else safe for Mr. Malema that stands out for you in that clip? That catches your attention?
No.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
Questions based on the court's questions, Advocate Caesar?
I've got none, Your Worship.
Advocate Odes?
None, Your Worship.
Advocate Matthews?
This is not a video taken by your company.
No.
No.
You can't even say it was taken on the night in question. Correct?
I can't really tell.
Thank you.
I think that is established. I've taken note of that.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'd finalized your evidence. You are excused.
Thank you.
Okay. Everybody, before we start the next witness, any 10-minute comfort
Yes.
breaks? I
Yes.
know I do require.
It's a very what day is yours.
Yes, I really hope that by today they would have solved the heat problem. Can we then agree so that we don't delay as to what time we will come back, just to allow someone just to have a drink or a bathroom break, to eat something quickly? Can we agree on a time limit?
Can we make it at 25 past? It's just a 50 minutes.
Then we may as well say 2:30.
Yes, Your Worship, please.
So to everyone,
Yes, Your
in,
Worship.
fine. Is it sufficient time for the defense?
Thank you, Your Worship.
The gallery, please remember, if you leave the courtroom now, which you are free to do, just, I'm not sure what happens outside the doors. It's not my concern, but that we are able to proceed at 2:30 for whatever procedures are followed. I don't know. I don't get involved in that aspect. Okay. Court will adjourn. Thank you. All parties ready to proceed?
Yes.
You can place us on record, Advocate Caesar.
Thank you. It's after lunch, Your Worship. It's still, the proceedings are still the same as we're just continuing. The state then calls its next witness, Ashley Singh. It's witness one number 108. A108. A108.
I take defense, Advocate Odes, Advocate Matthews ready to commence.
We're ready.
Thank you.
Sorry. Bishop, just before this witness testifies or is sworn in, the situation is exactly the same as the previous witness insofar as only audio, no visual.
Thank you. The media, you got that? That side, you also heard? Okay. Thank you. The witness, may you please state your full names and surname for the record?
Ashley Singh.
Do you have any objection in taking the prescribed oath?
No, ma'am.
Do you then swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Repeat after me, so help you God.
So help me God.
Thank you. Mr. Singh, just to explain to you, since we are, your evidence is in English, whilst Advocate Caesar is leading your evidence, please, after a sentence or so, just pause. I am recording, we all are writing down every word. So whatever is old news to everyone here is new news to me, so I need to keep up as well. Okay, thank you. Advocate Caesar.
Thank you very much. Mr. Singh, how old are you?
I'm 47.
On the 28th of July, 2018, you were employed at Gear House Company as a branch manager, is that correct?
That's correct.
Firstly, what was your responsibilities at Gear House as a branch manager?
On a day-to-day basis, I manage the branch and all operational and financial elements, including the delivery of technical services that I will.
You manage the branch, including all
operational activities.
Yes.
As well as financial administration.
Thank you. Now, this Gear House Company, what type of company is it?
We are a company that provides technical support to the live events industry.
If you're saying technical support, what does it mean?
We provide technical elements such as audio, visual, lighting,
Sorry, there was a cough. You provide audio and
audio-visual, lighting, staging, and power.
and power. Okay, sorry. Oh, please, everybody. I think on the last appearance we made it clear. Please check that your cell phones are off. Unfortunately, our recording machines pick it up and it interferes with our recording, and then we have a problem if the record needs to be transcribed. Please. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Continue.
Do you also provide the stage and the stage settings and the tents, so far as that is concerned?
We do stage and stage settings, but not tents.
On the 28th of July 2018, did you provide such equipment for the EFF's celebrations, anniversary?
Yes, we did.
As the branch manager, did you personally come to East London on the 28th of July 2018?
No, I did not.
Who was the personnel that you dispatched?
There were about 18 people in total. Of personnel relevant to this matter would be Sibusisa Ngcobo and Samuel Quater.
You'll have to repeat, sorry. About 18 members were dispatched, and then the two names you mentioned?
Sibusisa Ngcobo and Samuel Quater.
What was the role of Sibusisa Ngcobo?
Mr. Ngcobo was a audiovisual technician, but on this job he provided the role of vision mixer, so handling the feed of the cameras onto the big screens at the venue.
What was the role of Mr. Kwata?
Mr. Quach is also an audiovisual technician, and his role was to play content onto the screens.
His role was to play?
Content.
So play content onto the screens is what it's.
Can you then continue your sentence? His role was to play content onto the big screen.
Correct.
Thank you, thank you.
No, Your Worship, what you had said, you said that he was also audio-visual technician. And he played content onto the screens. Confirm it.
Okay. Correct?
Correct.
Thank you for good words.
These members asked when they were busy with the event, did they report to you on a regular basis?
Yes, we did. We've had a WhatsApp group created, as well as daily phone calls and communication.
Your equipment, when was it packed up? When was it gathered in order for the guys to leave the East London?
The technical aspects, being audiovisual, lighting, rigging, and cabling, would have been done after the completion of the show, which would have been late on Saturday night. The structures part would have been done late on Monday.
On Monday, did any of your members contact you? That's now when they were busy with the structural part. Anything contact you? Anything unusual happened on the Monday when they were busy dismantling the stage?
Not that I can recollect.
Please, so you'll have to raise your voice a bit.
Sorry, ma'am.
Please.
No, not that I could recollect.
Thank you.
On the 8th of August 2018, you were telephonically contacted by Brigadier Governor here in the Eastern Cape Directorate for Priority Crimes Investigations. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What was the purpose of him contacting you?
He advised that he was investigating a matter and that he needed to physically inspect our stage. I believe he didn't completely understand how a stage is built and erected. Therefore, I advised him that the stage did not exist as was done in the event and would need to be reconstructed.
Yes, proceed.
He then further wished to come to our premises and physically inspect the equipment used on that show.
I've asked nicely, please, whose cell phone is not switched off? If not, please leave the court. I'm not going to ask again. I am instructing now. Switch off or leave. Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. He said he wanted to visit your premises, yes?
Sorry, yeah. He wanted to physically visit our premises and inspect the equipment used on the job.
Did he tell you what was the purpose for that visit? To inspect? What did you want to see?
Yeah, he was under the impression that the stage would have incurred damage as a result of shooting on site, and therefore wanted to look for physical damage or other kinds of evidence.
Yes, proceed, sir.
I advised him that, I was not from the staging department, and therefore told him he would need to speak to my head of structures.
Yes, proceed.
He then agreed and said he would send a team of policemen to the premises to conduct the necessary communication with us, as well as the inspection of the stage.
Continue. Was this done? Was the stage inspected? And was everything inspected, the equipment?
Yes, I do not know the exact date, but a few days later a team of detectives came through and together with Mr. Madladla did the inspection of the stage.
Was there any damages to your equipment?
Not that we could see.
Yes, continue, sir.
I then, together with my staging head of department, looked through the stage as well as our footage from the event, just to ensure that none of the what we call the roof skins had been damaged, because if that's damaged, then it would compromise the integrity of the structure going forward.
Were you informed where this possible damage could have came from?
My head of department did advise me that there was a shooting on site, and it could have come from that.
Did you view the video?
I did.
Mr. Singh, unfortunately because of the location of the television, I'd have to ask you just to step out of the witness box, because I'm going to show you two specific videos.
Kutima. Mama, mama, tutu, selama. I am Hawaii. No, mi futu, liloma. Bubo pasopa, Kutima. Chio, 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 mama, chio, 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 makerela.
Mr. Singh, there's a second video as well that we want you to view. Thank you. Now, I just wanted you to view the videos because we'll be asking you questions regarding the videos. You said you had a look at the videos that you had in your possession to inspect what might have happened.
Correct.
Did you do so?
I did.
What did you see on your videos that you viewed?
From the angle of the stage right camera, I saw obviously someone firing a firearm, but it was done away from the stage, what we call a skin. So at that stage, I was relatively comfortable that no damage would have happened to the roof itself.
Do you know how many times this shots were fired, or how many times it went to the side to this person fired shots?
I don't, sorry.
The video you just observed, is that the same video that you looked at?
Correct.
Yes, where did you get that footage from?
I got it from our audiovisual department. On our scope of work, we were asked to record the event, and I went to the footage of that event.
Did you request the footage, or did you go and fetch it yourself?
I requested the footage.
Was the whole event footage given to you, and then you went to a specific, or how did this happen?
Events are recorded in segments based on the capacity of the memory card on the camera and of the recording device. So they were about 3 or 4 segments of the total show, starting from midday till the event closes.
Thank you, Your Worship. So now you looked at the footage and you've seen and you concluded there couldn't have been any damages. What happened now?
So the main idea or the main reason for looking at the footage was to not make us have to rebuild the whole structure, because that's a quite intensive 3-day build. After looking at the footage, I checked with my structural engineer to pull the actual skins out of the roof, because that could have been the only possible damage incurred. And we looked at those and pretty much assured ourselves that no damage had been incurred.
When you viewed the footage at the time, were you able to identify who the person was that fired those shots?
No, I wasn't.
What happens now?
To avoid having to rebuild the entire structure, which would require obviously premises and machinery such as a forklift and possibly a crane truck, I told Brigadier Pillay, the Brigadier, that I was satisfied that our stage had suffered no damage and didn't need to be obviously rebuilt. He then asked for footage of the events, that he would like to have a look at it as well.
Yes, proceed.
Yeah. His team that then obviously visits our premises had a look at the footage on screen and I believe reports it back to him. They wanted the footage immediately, and I advised them I need to contact my legal department for advice. I then did, and was advised by my legal department. That the law enforcement will need to provide the relevant documentation in terms of, I believe, a section 205 to get a copy of the footage.
If you're referring to 205, you mean a 205 subpoena?
Correct.
Yes, proceed.
They said they would return, and I believe, I'm not too sure how many days later, they did return with a section 205 to look and to take a copy of the footage.
Were you present when this was done?
I was.
Who downloaded the footage and from where?
Mr. Quarter did that, and we downloaded from the laptop used on the show.
Sorry, Mr. Who?
Mr. Quarter.
the police and you were all present there when this was done.
Correct.
Did they seal it when they downloaded it, after it was downloaded?
They did.
While the footage was in your possession, was it ever tampered with?
No, it wasn't.
Why do you say that?
I locked it into a company safe on the premises, and I was the only one with access to it, and only opened again once the lady from the forensic department came to our offices.
Was Brigadier Governor present when this was done?
The unlocking of the safe.
No, the sealing of this footage that you gave to him.
I don't believe he was.
And you confirm that is the footage that you gave to the police?
It's part of the entire footage, yes.
If you say part, what do you mean?
The footage we gave through was a comprehensive recording of the entire event. That's obviously a segmented part of the event itself.
Mr. Singh, just one last question. When the persons who were responsible for dismantling your stage report that they found any spent cartridges in or around?
So that would be hearsay, no, so.
Sorry, Advocate Odes, are you saying...
Yeah, hearsay. He's asking about the content of a conversation with somebody else. He knows it's hearsay, it's obvious.
Don't know if the person will be called Advocate
Well, you
Caesar.
have to say first.
Then
Yes.
that's why I'm asking him. If so, then place it on record if such a person will be called, so it may be provisionally admitted in terms of hearsay. If not,
Sorry. Your Worship, if I
do
may.
not elicit hearsay.
Thank you. If I may then bring an application at this stage, Your Worship, to allow this evidence under the Hearsay Act. The person has passed on that I spoke to Mr. Singh.
Any reply to the application under the hearsay?
Your Worship, Mark has an
passed away?
obligation to tell Your Worship that he wishes to elicit the evidence of somebody who cannot be called to testify or failed to do so. For that alone, I would submit that it should be disqualified. Over and above that, Your Worship, if the person no longer is alive, I don't know what exception is relying. It's the clearest form of hearsay that you can come across with respect to. He was aware of it. We were unaware. I have no knowledge, he's never shared with us, even requested anything from us in this regard. Had he approached me in advance, I would have had a different attitude, but that's now changed, unfortunately.
Advocate Matthews?
This is such a complicated issue. Well, not complicated in the sense that if we learn about it, one can then argue about If that all my learned friend has to say, he has not complied with the section of the compliance of section 45 of 1988, because he has not complied with the requirement of you allowing in hearsay evidence. All he's told us is somebody is there. This requires you to look at the nature of the evidence, the nature of the proceedings, the purpose for which it is tendered, the probative value of the evidence, the reason why it's not given by the person, on whose credibility the probative value rests, any prejudice to a party which the administration of such evidence might entail, and any other factor that the court may take into account. It is strike law, my lady, almost that in criminal proceedings the admission of hearsay evidence is to be avoided as far as possible.
Thank you. Now, from the court side, living on the edge here. As the state approached the defense in any regard of the statement of the said deceased person, name not known to me, whether it is in dispute and if it can be submitted by consent in terms of section 213 of Act 51 of 1977, or would the defense be opposed to such a request?
So we've never been approached, we're unaware that this person is deceased.
Up until today, you were not informed he was deceased.
I've never been approached by this.
Bishop, if I may, just on that aspect, this matter won't take any further. I don't see why you wish we have to make an application. I abandon that application to have that evidence because it's not taking the matter forward or backwards. It was just a matter for completeness, that's it.
So you're withdrawing your question?
That's correct.
Thank you, Advocate Caesar. Thought you done when you took a seat.
Yes, no, thank you. Basically, I have no further questions for this particular witness. That was my last question. Thank you.
Thank you, Advocate Caesar.
Thank you,
Mr. Otis, he's also new to the system. I'll just take that minute and repeat myself. I find it does expedite matters a bit. Mr. Singh, the next process is cross-examination. Firstly, Advocate Odes with regards to accused number 1, thereafter Advocate Matthews on behalf of accused number 2 will have an opportunity to cross-examine you. It means they may ask questions from you, many of which you may have already testified about, but if you are asked, you are required to please answer clearly and directly again. They may also place a statement before you. It's normally phrased in, I put it to you, sir, or my instructions are, followed by a statement. You may respond by saying, yes, you agree with the statement. You may disagree with the statement. If it's not within your knowledge, you do not know, feel free to say so. If you are not clear on any question or you did not hear clearly, feel free to ask, and I'm sure the defense will assist by repeating.
Sure.
Okay, understood. Thank you, Advocate Odes. If you're ready, you may proceed.
Firstly, Mr. Singh, it's quite clear, and excuse me for stating the obvious, you were not at the 5th birthday celebration of the EFF, is that correct?
No, sir, that's not.
So, as to what happened on the 20th of July 2018, you have no personal recollection, you were not there and have experienced that you were there.
That's correct.
The first that you heard about this incident was when a brigadier governor approached you with a view to inspecting your equipment, is that correct?
That's correct, it was a phone call.
And when he made that request to you, he wanted to inspect the stage, including what you referred to as a tent, is that correct?
The stage, correct, yes.
He asked about a tent. You said we don't do tents, we do the stage, and what you referred to as the cover, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, you obviously had to be perturbed by this information because it was company equipment, and as you testified, had there been a bullet hole to any of the covers, it would have impacted on the integrity of the cover, is that correct?
That's correct.
Realizing the significance of such an inspection, you obviously checked those covers very carefully. Do you agree with me?
I had my staff do that, yes.
Well, you ensured that your staff did a thorough check or inspection of the covers to ensure that there was no damage, is that correct?
Correct.
And it's clear that there was in fact no damage. You agree with me?
Correct.
Had there been damage, you would have reported it, possibly claimed from the client or the staff or anybody who had caused the damage. Do you agree with me?
I do, that's correct.
Now, you have no idea what time this event began. Do you agree?
I have a rough time frame, but no exact idea.
What's your rough time frame?
Around midday, I believe.
As far as you're concerned, it began around midday, and when did it finish? So?
I would say around 11 p.m. from the information I have.
So I'd like to put to you as a fact in the court's heard today that according to your employer, Mr. Corbett, it started before midday. Do you have any comment?
Could very well be true.
That having been there, you had no personal knowledge of the events?
Correct. I was relying on information passed via communication channels.
Now, I further understood from your testimony that the entire event was recorded from beginning to end. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, who decided which snippets or extracts to take out of that entire footage?
I would assume it would be the state or the law enforcement.
So unfortunately for you, you're not entitled to assume. You were there.
It was.
No, I'm not finished. I'm not finished.
Sorry.
You were there. You were called to explain to this court the procedure followed in the extraction of the footage. Who made the decisions?
I don't believe any decision was made to extract a segment. I believe we download the entire footage. Unless I'm understanding your question incorrectly.
Now, if, as the previous witness said, the event began at approximately 10 a.m. and ran for approximately 2,300 hours, the actual footage that was provided to the state would be some 12 or 13 hours, would you with me?
Correct.
You've watched the footage in court. It's two together, not even total 5 minutes to with me.
Correct.
I need to know from you, so do you know who extracted those segments from the original 12 or 13 hour recording?
No, I don't.
So when you identified the footage in court as having been the footage that you extracted, what you meant to say was that this is a segment of that which we handed over to the Hawks, is that correct?
That's correct.
Because it's a matter of record, we've been sitting here for 13 hours watching the video, you know that.
Thank you.
I don't mean to be rude, I'm actually just ask you again. You played no role in determining how those segments were extracted from the original footage.
No, I did not.
That's why when you testified, you very fairly said that it was part or a segmented part of the event itself. It's not the entire footage you agree with me. Now, another issue that troubled me is when the members of the Hawks came to your office on the first occasion and requested the footage, they did not have a Section 205 subpoena with them. Do you agree with me?
Correct.
In fact, as I understand your testimony, they were very happy to informally take it from you and utilize it. You found an attorney or legal advisor who then told you that the correct procedure is for them to obtain a Section 205 subpoena. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Weren't you shocked that they behaved in this manner?
I would say surprised because I'm obviously not quite clued up on the legal process, but I would think that if you wanted any kind of evidence, you would need to follow a proper procedure.
And it was you who took the initiative to phone your, I don't know if it's an attorney or legal advisor, who then explained to you that the correct procedure is to obtain a Section 205 subpoena, and thereafter it is upon your insistence that such a subpoena was obtained. Is that correct?
That's correct. I was obviously unaware of what to do and sought advice from her.
I'm objecting, Your Worship, to this line of questioning to this particular witness. To say that that is the correct procedure that needs to be followed, it doesn't mean that was the only procedure that needs to be followed in getting the footages from the particular witness. I mean that the question is really not fair.
Fair enough. I'll rephrase. I'm not going to argue for it.
Simply rephrase.
Yes, I'll rephrase. I accept what you're saying and I'll rephrase. I apologize.
Thank you.
So I'm not here to mislead you. The objective fact is that once the members of the Hawks wanted to leave with footage, you were the one who inquired as to what procedure ought to be followed. Is that correct?
Correct.
Prior to that, none of them had mentioned to you what procedure ought to be followed. Is that correct?
I don't recollect, sir, no.
Yes, sir. You've answered this already. You testified in chief that they asked you for the footage. You then contacted your legal department, and you advised of the legal requirements of Section 205 to obtain the footage.
That's correct.
Were you ever explained that procedure by the members of the Hawks?
No.
Anybody?
No.
May I approach the accused?
Certainly.
Apologize for that. One aspect, sir. When you watched the video, you didn't know any of the people in the video, is that correct?
Correct.
Thank you, Worship.
Thank you.
I apologize, Worship, but I don't mean to be rude to the accused, but I apologize. Thank you.
Here's the witness just indicating want some water. Is there anybody that can
it
provide
seems-
him water?
I think the defense is also out of stock, and I don't think justice has any stock. Thank you,
Just a little
Advocate
bit, thank you.
Matthews.
That's fine. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm not sure where the water from the jug is coming from, so in this...
There's a long answer. You cannot identify the shooter who said so to you.
Correct.
Quickly, you need to speak up so it's recorded.
I said that's correct. Sorry.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Thank you. Advocate Matthews?
Thank you. Just one issue. You say, hey, Mr. Kwata downloaded the footage from a laptop and gave it to the Hawks. Correct?
From my laptop onto a hard drive.
Downloaded it from the laptop onto a hard drive, gave it to the Hawks. Where's that laptop?
That laptop was subsequently stolen in an event.
At an event.
Yeah, another event.
So, if I want to well, let's do this. The laptop contained what, let's say, the original recording.
Correct.
If I want to compare that original recording to something that's been downloaded somewhere, you're telling me I'm unable to do so, correct?
At this stage now.
So there's no way that I, as a defense advocate or on behalf of my client, can verify that what we are now seeing was in fact the correct video. Correct?
I would say that's correct. The last time, if I'm allowed to answer, would have been original is when I handed it over.
Sure.
Yeah.
You see, because when Mr. Nova testified, he said that he was called to a meeting with the Hawks. Do you recall such a meeting at your premises?
There were quite a few, sir. Initially, then to take statements, and we were all obviously kept or treated separately.
He then says he was shown the first video that was here shown to you today,
I wouldn't know because I wasn't in the meeting.
and he wasn't shown the second one.
I wouldn't know because I wasn't in that meeting.
Why would you, as a manager, not be in the meeting when the staff was being interviewed by the Hawks?
I'm not sure. Busy with other work, out to a meeting. Could have been different reasons. Like I said, there were several visits to our premises.
Concerned about this fact that the original recording of this event is on a laptop that's gone missing.
I'll have
How
to,
did it go missing?
so I'll have to give you a layman's diagram of how it works, so you probably understand.
I just want to know, how did the laptop go missing?
Oh, it's quite a common thing in our industry. It's a high commodity item, so it moves from job to job, and
Good
people obviously nick it because it's easy to conceal and put under a jacket and walk out with it.
You were not told to preserve this laptop?
And no, just the hard drive.
This should just be it. Sorry, there was something else I wanted to clarify. No, thank you. That's it.
Any re-examination, Advocate Caesar?
No re-examination. Thank you. Sorry, I think,
Just a question. Thanks, Steve. Did you report the theft of this laptop to the police?
You
I believe
do
it
have
was.
my permission to proceed.
Sorry.
I believe so. It's standard procedure in our company.
You believe so?
Well, it's a long time ago, but I would say yes, because for us to do an insurance claim, we would have to have an SCPS number.
All right, thank you.
Is that it?
That's it, thank you.
Okay. Mr. Singh, lastly, by court, just a few questions for clarity.
Sure.
Please keep in mind I do not have the information to my disposal as the defense and the state. So it's only if you are able to answer and to clarify some aspects if you are able to do so.
Sure.
Okay. Just for clarity then, whose laptop was actually stolen?
The company, Gia South Africa.
So therefore, can you say that the laptop used by Mr. Ngobo to download footage onto a hard drive is the laptop that was stolen?
Correct.
How are you able to do so?
By serial number.
Serial number?
Yes.
Have you done that?
Yes, we've done that. Are you talking about the case report as alluded to, or something different?
Sorry?
Are you talking about the case report as alluded to, or something different?
No, the matter before court.
Yes. Could you repeat the question, please?
So, can you say that it was the laptop which Mr. Ngobo used to download the footage that was later stolen?
Yes, that's correct.
And
Mr. Quater, not Mr. Noble.
Yes, now you see that is why I'm asking you for clarity. You've mentioned two names now. Mr. Ngobo said he downloaded that onto his laptop, onto a hard drive.
Yes.
Now you are referring to another download by who?
Mr. Quater.
Quater.
Quater. K-W-A-T-A.
Okay.
Yeah.
The one with Mr. Quater in the presence of yourself and the police.
Correct.
That laptop was stolen.
Correct.
Not the one by Mr. Ngobo.
It's one of the same. It's the same thing.
And the hard drive?
The hard drive wasn't stolen. So the external hard drive.
Still in your possession?
The initial one? Initial download?
Yes.
Correct.
Are you still employed at Gear Company?
I am in.
Has this incident or coming to court affected your company in any negative manner?
Tangibly, no, but I would rather not be here. But no,
yes,
no.
that's visible, so I'm still getting to that.
Yeah, so no tangible repercussions to date. Yeah.
Now, for what you've just said, you would rather not be here. Can you explain?
Yeah, obviously, the defendant or the institution he represents are good clients of ours. Always had a good relationship, so it obviously does. One might construe it to be awkward for me, and
Okay.
yeah, hence I say so.
Are they still clients of yours?
They are.
I see. Now, based on what you've just said, you're sharing a good relationship with Mr. Malema? That is who you are referring to?
Correct.
Okay. How can you not identify the people on the video footage that you watched, the two segments?
When asked initially, ma'am, the angle, and once again, you would have to be a technical person like myself, and where it was shot, didn't give me a clear picture of the face. And I couldn't conclusive. That's what the question they asked me.
So, are you saying then direct facial?
Yes,
based
correct,
on that,
correct.
you cannot
Yeah.
say. Okay. So I do understand that you feel uncomfortable, and now you've explained because I picked it up from your body language, and now you've clarified to me. So thank you for that. Let me just check something else. Is this the first time that you were asked by SAPS, Hawks, law enforcement, any person for copies of footage?
Correct.
So this is completely new territory for you
very
at that
new.
stage?
Yeah.
Okay. Naturally, it's your right to do so and to phone your legal department, especially if one is available.
Yeah.
What urged you to do so, though? Was there a reason? Did something feel not right, uncomfortable? The motivation behind seeking legal advice when something as ordinary as video footage is requested?
Yeah. So a couple-fold. One was obviously being called out the blue by law enforcement, and as law enforcement sometimes do, are they not really cognizant of what works, but just want to come and take all your equipment away, and that would obviously be detrimental to the business, having that equipment impounded or whatever else.
Okay, yes.
And twofold, by virtue of being a client, one has to obviously consult a higher power than myself just to make sure that we are not infringing anyone's rights or doing anything that's
so it was to satisfy that you were complying with whatever may.
Yes, and although I'm the branch manager, I don't have absolute power, so I didn't want to overstep my remit in terms of what I'm employed to do.
Thank you. Any questions based on the court's questions, Advocate Caesar?
None, Your Worship.
Advocate Odes?
None.
Thank you. Advocate Matthews? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Singh.
you,
We
ma'am.
have finalized your evidence. You may comfortably stand down now. Okay. Are we calling it a day at this
Yes,
stage?
Your Worship. We're in agreement. I mean, to call a witness now at this lateness of the hour. I also need to attend to some of their logistics. Mr.
Yes,
Wade.
the,
Yes. So I'd ask that we adjourn.